Mr. Top Flight Films. How's everybody doing today, man? We are in the building. We are in the building. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about the prosecutor on the Diddy case. From what I understand, she was on the Diddy and the Epstein case. Well, look here. She got her ass fired. She got fired, dog. And we're gonna chop it up on the topic, man. Anybody wanna weigh in, please feel free to leave a comment. You know, feel free to give your opinion. You dig? But here are my thoughts, man. I love seeing justice prevail. I love seeing things untwirl, man. And what we've been saying from day one about this Diddy case, it has failed. The chips have failed. Okay, and it is to the point to where prosecutors are getting fired. You understand? Um, Now it's bad enough that they did not get the RICO. It's bad enough that they wasted a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources trying to take this man's livelihood and his life and his money, ultimately his money, his empire. They try to take all this stuff away from him. It's bad enough that they wasted everybody's time. But at the end of everything, this chick got fired. And there's been no official statement on why she's been fired, but I think we can all use our imagination. That was a very sloppy, thrown together case. The Kid Cudi thing was just reaching. It was just, they had no evidence. They had no witnesses. They had nobody to corroborate Kid Cudi's story. I don't even think Kid Cudi had a story to corroborate. So it was just bad all the way around. Cassie was a terrible witness. You know, they made Cassie look super guilty. You understand? And from what I understand, what I heard, man, is they had several witnesses that they did not pull or call to the stand that were going to really make Cassie look even crazier. You dig? Um, Maurene Comey, the prosecutor on the Diddy trial. She was also the prosecutor on the Epstein trial. If I'm not mistaken, she has been relieved of her duties. She is also the daughter of an ex-FBI agent. All this shit is suspect, y'all. This whole shit, look, man, this whole shit is suspect. Everybody's intertwined. Everybody is connected. And it's very fishy. You understand? Epstein, Diddy, uh, FBI daughter, you dig? So she didn't do her job correctly, man. She got the boot. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Y'all hit the like button for me. Fear 6. Hit the like button, homie. Lana says, who cares about Diddy? Enough with that monster. Uh, okay. Big shout out to everybody, man. Look. Well, see, the thing is, right, the reason why I talk, let me break this down for y'all. Because it's not about Diddy in its totality. It's not all about Diddy. It's about justice. And if you live in the United States of America, you should be about justice, no matter if you like Diddy or not. No matter if you saw a video of Diddy kicking and punching Cassie, you should still be invested in justice in the United States of America. So that's one reason. There's several reasons why I talk about this case, because these cases keep popping up. It didn't start with Diddy. It didn't start with R. Kelly. It didn't start with Michael Jackson. This stuff has been going on for a long time. It didn't start with Bill Cosby. You understand? So one of the main reasons I like to break these things down is because, yes, no, see, the thing is, nobody wants to talk about it now. Everybody's like, stop talking about it. This was hot topic. This was a hot topic when it came out. People could not get enough of talking about baby oil when Diddy got picked up. People could not get enough of talking about the drugs that were in the baby oil, supposedly. Now that Diddy will be home at some point, because at first it didn't look like he was coming home. But now that he will be home at some point, nobody, you don't want to talk about it. No, no, no. We we have to talk about it because the blogs that reported all the sensational, salacious things, they're not talking about the stuff that's happening on the back end. Do y'all notice that? I don't like that. It's not fair. I think it should be, everybody should be accountable, especially these blogs. Nobody's saying, well, shit, they didn't find drugs in the baby oil, or the guns were legal, or there was no evidence for RICO. You dig? So media outlets such as Top Flight TV, and I don't want to say I'm media, but I like to touch on topics every now and then. I like to produce the content that nobody is producing because the truth needs to be told, and the truth needs to be put out there, because at any given moment, the people, the powers that be, can start picking people up, making their own narratives, right? Throwing people in jail, right? And who's gonna tell the truth? Everybody's like, just stop talking about it. Roman Mario, what it do, homie? Johnny K, what's up, homie? Y'all hit the like button for me. Yeah, so, and I get it, man. It's a hilarious storyline. Baby oil, uh, all kind of freaky activity going on. I get it. But when it comes down to the come down, the truth needs to be told. And the real story needs to be out there. You understand? And let me tell you, man, it's slowly gotten out there. From the sex workers that have appeared on Vlad TV. Do y'all watch Vlad TV? Plot E1, what it do? Artistic Cornbread, I appreciate you, Holmes. I appreciate you, Holmes. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Shit, good evening. I don't even know what time it is. I've been up all day, man, getting things done, hit the gym, got some work done. But anyway, let me tell you, man, all the sex workers are on Vlad TV, and they are telling their side of the story. And it's funny because these sex workers were not vocal in the beginning. And yeah, I get it. They were being contacted by the feds. The feds were actually threatening some of these sex workers. And they were under some sort of investigation. So I understand why they didn't speak up, right? But now all the sex workers are doing interviews. They're on the press run, and they're letting it be known what was actually going on. You dig? Anya Farno says, oh, I remember you. You was going off your head on Airy one time. I don't know what that means. Oh, you a freestyle rapper, Holmes? Tanya Zion, what it do? Brittany Marshall, what it do, man? Shout out to y'all. Yeah, I wanted to tap in and put it out there, man, because nobody's covering this shit, man. Like, a whole prosecutor has been fired. You dig? And we can only expect poorly put together criminal case. And that is newsworthy in my book. If there's a prosecutor out there, a federal prosecutor out there, that's just out here putting cases on people willy-nilly, everybody needs to know. See, sometimes sheep, what we call sheep, y'all know who sheep are, right? The sheep are the people that go with anything and everything the government and the media tells them. That's why the country is in such disarray. It's because we got way too many sheep out here. Nobody wants to think for themselves. people just want to see a headline, don't do no research on it, and just run with that narrative. And that makes it very easy. That plays into the hands of the government. That plays into the hands of the powers that be. So we got a lot of sheep out here, man. Nastya says, hello from Russia. What's up, Nastya? For everyone is back in the building. What's up, for everyone? You wasn't here the other day. Winston Churchill was back in the building. What's up, homie? Said, God save the king and Trump. That was a great stream the other day, man. I seen some more information about Trump. And, you know, it looks like Trump is going to be okay. It looks like Trump is going to be all right. So all the MAGA people, y'all don't have nothing to worry about. We're back in business. We still rolling. I'm not MAGA, but an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I told y'all this. Unknown MP4, what it do, homie? Are You Dumb says, we don't deal with colonizers. You don't deal with colonizers? Let me ask you something, brother. So I take it you're a brother. You say you don't deal with colonizers. Where do you live at? Tyler Winslow. I appreciate that. Where you live at, homie? You say you don't deal with colonizers. Where do you live at? And where do you work at? Sonic Boom TV, what it do? Say it got a wallet full of cars and colonizers playing cards. Hey man, that's another topic, man. You know, shout out to everybody that's, you know, for justice and revolutionaries, right? But at some point you gotta ask yourself, you know, how revolutionary am I? You got people online, right? And in real life, they'll talk crazy about you, right? Because you might date outside your race, or you might be friends with other people outside the race. And they'll talk crazy, and they like, dog. I'm like, dog, y'all work for the white man every day. Y'all clock in every day for the white man. The men in my man just said it. The people on your money are white people. Your neighbors and associates. You living in the USA, family. Like, you're not a revolutionary. Now let me tell you this. It was a brother online named King Noble. Who knows who King Noble is? That's the only revolutionary that I believed. This nigga lived in a tent. This nigga lived in a goddamn tent. You dig? He lived in a goddamn tent. He's the only revolutionary that he lived all the way off the grid. Yeah, I know the comment section be off the hook, man. Patricia says, to a raid for Africa. Shout out to that brother. Winston, for everyone says, Winston only praises for the true king of this world. Okay. All right. Okay. My man, Are You Dumb says, I stay on my own land and I work for Delph. What's up, homie? He didn't even say self, he said Delph. You from New York? You a 5%er, dog? You from New York or something? He said, I work for Delph. You work for Dolo? What kind of work do you do, dog? Claudette McGregor said, free Diddy. Yeah, free that man, y'all. Free Diddy, dog. You did? Let that man go. Potlow said, Christian vampires. China Reem, you boss man. I love your stream from Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria, man. Hey man, I had to film in a Nigerian club in DC. And when I tell y'all, man, that I was blown away, right? They would not let me capture. It was it was it was like one or two chicks twerking. They would not let me get that on camera. They did not want that to be seen in their atmosphere or in their video. And I found that to be highly respectable. You understand? Like it wasn't all kind of twerking. Nowadays, when you go out, that's all chicks do is twerk. I don't go out unless I'm filming, right? And I be trying like get the girl's face on camera. And as soon as I approach these young ladies, they turn around, start shaking their ass. And I'm like, cuz I want to get your face. I got all the ass twerking. You dig? Strange, dog. Like these chicks don't even have the confidence. They're not confident in their face card. That they just gotta turn around and start shaking ass, dog. It's wild to me. Sharon Haywood said, Claudette, have you went to visit him yet since you say free Diddy? Claudette McGregor said, Trump will pardon Diddy. I hope so. I hope he does. I mean, because the reality is Trump, look, they know something that we don't know. They know something that we don't know. These people have inside information. I'm not going to act like I know the inside information, but these people have something. They have information that we don't have. Trump knows that Diddy was unfairly targeted. A blind man can see Trump was unfairly targeted. You dig? S. Hunter says, women do what men ask for. Well, I mean, nah, I can't agree with that, sweetheart. These new women are different, man. This new era is different. They really take after, and I'm not saying all women, of course, but I'm just saying in certain sectors of the culture, the club life, the nightlife, excuse me, they do what they see Meg Thee Stallion do and Sexy Red. Like, yeah, to an extent, they know men like twerking, but at some point, man, you gotta be something different. It's to the point, man, twerking is not ain't sexy no more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm saying that real loosely, but it's to the point where it's not what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you open your phone, somebody's shaking ass. You dig? Omega Ator says, for everyone, race war is worse than prison. What are you talking about, sir? You talking about race war in prison. King Troll says, zero accountability. Tell me about it. I'm beefing with my girl right now. Zero accountability. Zero. Cooper Wayrotch. Y'all hit that like button for me. I'm in Maryland, Holmes. Jot. I'm in Maryland. Kenyatta Johnson said, I felt bad for Diddy and my man got mad at me. What did he get mad at you for? Listen, man, listen. Look, very few of us are not sheep. There's 85% of people that are sheep. You understand? So, you know, I'm not saying your man's a sheep, but there's not a lot of thinkers left. You know what I'm saying? L said, I'm beefing with my mother. Zero accountability. Even my mother, cause I love my girl and my mother. But they don't, it's what's up? What is it with women? Women, I need y'all to tell me, man. I know we got some honest women in the chat. What is it with y'all that y'all just won't admit that you're wrong sometimes? What I just went through this with my mother a couple weeks ago. I said, Ma, she was telling me about how she was, you know, something physical was going on. I said, Ma, you got to start exercising. You got to start walking. She was like, don't tell me. Don't. I'm like, Ma, I'm just telling you to exercise. I love you. I want you to stay here. There's no accountability, though. Like, women don't like being told anything. Kenyatta Johnson said, he took advantage of people because he had money. Yeah, okay, granted, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he took advantage of some people. And I don't even want to say he took advantage of people. He took advantage of his situation. Let me tell you something about rich people. I am not rich by any means. But let's be real clear. Diddy had a bag a long time ago. All right? Now, a millionaire's mindset, everybody they come into contact with is working to take some of their money. Do you understand that? So his mindset, I'm sure his mindset is, these people don't really care about me. They care about my money. You dig? So cool. Y'all can come hang out. You can act like you like me, but you gonna have to do some things that I like as well. So he just took advantage of his situation, from my opinion. Now, I wasn't arguing with my mother, William. I was just saying. I kind of threw my hands up in the air. I'm like, all right, Ma, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna argue with you. Mara Grow says, when you have more money that you can buy anything, you want the only thing left is power over man. That boy Abe said, how old are you? I'm 44. Yeah, nah, that's true. Look, man, let me say this though. You know, when you around some real money, dog, like, millionaires have a different way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I sat back and I've watched, and they are already aware that people want to take advantage of them. You understand? So as far as the Diddy situation, I believe that Diddy was living his life, and people were pawns in his game. Now, the real question is, were these people allowed to leave? This is the question, fam. Look, this is what makes him a monster or not a monster. Were the girls allowed to leave? If the girls were not allowed to leave, then he's a monster. But if the girls had a choice to say, look, I'll participate in this or I'll leave, then he's not a monster. He simply is who he is. The girls had all the opportunity to leave. Throughout that whole trial, nobody was held captive. You dig? He has no kidnapping. He was not found guilty of kidnapping or a false imprisonment. Melinda, I appreciate that, sweetheart. Cheats 215 says, peace to the original man. Peace, black man. Peace, God. Peace, God. Peace. Hey, sis, you like, I guess you a 5%er. You know who I've been rocking with, man? King Son. Y'all been watching them King Son interviews? Solid brother right there, man. I'm really enjoying a lot of his interviews, man. Cadell Crawford said he is a manipulative. That is not a crime. I agree. And you know, the reality, I don't even think he was very manipulative. From the text messages that we saw, he was just straightforward. You dig? Like, a lot of the text messages he was sending to them chicks, he was very straightforward with them. Like, look, this is my world. You gonna get down or lay down, or you can get the fuck out of here. I mean, what? Like, what are we talking about? You dig? That's definitely not a crime. Yeah, they were allowed to leave out, man. They could have rolled out at any time. And the thing is, that lady got fired. That prosecutor got fired. And it's good because it's real victims out here. It's real victims of human trafficking out here. Dig? And they made a mockery of the justice system by charging that man with human trafficking and all these other crazy RICO crimes. They should have been focused their resources on real human trafficking. You understand? So good riddance to that lady, man. She needs to be out of that position. William the Wolfman said, there are things you can't deny about Diddy. There are images of him mistreating his girlfriend in a hotel, for example. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody is co-signing that. We've already spoke on that, but my thing is that is not a federal crime. You understand? Just because, and that's why they put that tape out there, so the public can make up their mind about him, so they can do whatever they want with him. And that is not true justice and liberty. And nobody should want that. You understand? Everybody should be smarter more intelligent, and not emotional. They put that video out to get you in your emotions. So now they can do whatever they want with this man. You gotta take the personality out of it and say he's an American. You understand? For everyone says Hollywood is like that. And it was like that from the very beginning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Greenery said OJ is innocent. Yeah, OJ was innocent. OJ was innocent. Paul said they are not going after the real trafficking. Yeah, they too busy putting on a spectacle. You dig? They too busy prosecuting Puff Daddy. Like really, like say that shit. Close your eyes and say they gave Puff Daddy a RICO. That don't even make sense, dog. I knew from day one. I'm like, dog, why would? Let me tell you something. As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, I don't have enough time in the day, right? And I knew Puffy didn't have enough time in the day to be doing all these things they said he did and have his hand in Ciroc, Revolt TV, putting out albums, doing interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't. You are you a crime boss or are you a public figure icon? Novalet Daily says what that got to do with if he's American. In America, sweetheart, I don't know if you live in America, but in America, there's something called the judicial system, and everybody has rights. That's what it has to do with him. Now, if we're in a third world country and they just want to pick him up and chop his head off, sure, fine. But in America, we have rights. Okay, you got that? Wayne Schultz says OJ wasn't innocent of breaking into that hotel room. Boy, they got him on that shit. Ray Delgado said, let God deal with this man. Don't try. I'm not. How can I save Diddy? Again, it's bigger than Diddy, y'all. Okay, it's big because guess there's gonna be somebody next. There's gonna be another. Do y'all understand? Listen, there will be another prominent black actor or artist that will be getting a RICO sex trafficking charge. Do y'all see that Kanye just got hit with some sex trafficking civil suits? Did y'all see that? Ashley said, you beat your girl, don't you? I've never hit my girl in 10 years. Ashley, do you get beat? Does your man beat you? Teams and Mem says, you got rights or the illusion of rights. We have rights, my man. Look, yes, can our rights get violated? Absolutely. Nevertheless, we have rights. And that's why Sean P. Diddy Combs was found not guilty of those major charges. Kenyatta Johnson, I appreciate you, sweetheart. Sonia Thompson says, it's all of them, black, white, red, yellow. These rich people are weirdos. But, well, if that's the case, then why do we have a long list of black entertainers that are crucified? I'm talking about lifetime specials. Billion-dollar industry, man. I'm talking about if everybody is... See what happened, and I blame us. I blame some of our culture for that because we took Surviving R. Kelly, and I guess the ratings were out of this world. We sensationalized this bullshit. So they like, oh shit, well, we can prosecute Diddy, and we'll have another high profile case because the people eat it up. You know what I'm saying? Mingle X Alice says it's payback for that lawsuit he made against Diageo. I think that may play a part. See, the thing about me, man, I don't act like I know the inside information. I don't act like I have the inside scoop. You dig? But I can only speculate. I believe Puffy got too big for his britches. I believe they had a hard on for Puffy for 2 decades. if not longer. I believe they wanted Puffy out of here a long time ago. And I think that video and these lawsuits is what really gave them the ammo to go after Puffy in a major way. You understand? Mr. Williams says, is Trump in the Epstein files? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you know what I did see today? I saw an attorney. This was an attorney that was on the Epstein case, a prosecutor. He said Trump was the only person that was trying to help him prosecute Epstein. I found that to be very interesting. Wayne Schultz says they're gonna go at the 50 question mark. I mean, look, I would not be surprised, dog. I wouldn't be surprised. Think about how many rappers have flew women out. See, we look at Puff Daddy, right? And we like, oh, he did this, that, and the third. But this is what goes on in the industry on a nightly basis. Orgies, group sex, menage a trois, you dig? All kind of shit. Think about at any given moment, one of these groupies can come out and say, you know what? I'm broke. They already doing it. I just told you. The chick is going after Kanye for sex trafficking. She said she was sex trafficked by Kanye. So it is very easy to put together a case and to, at the very least, tie an artist up in litigation. Lori said, no way they get anything on 50. Yeah, all right. Crazy? Are you crazy? They can get whatever they want. You just saw. We just witnessed them put a bogus case on Puff Daddy. The reason y'all don't think it's bogus is because they put the video out. That's why y'all are angry and upset and mad and emotional. But other than that video, they put bogus case on that man. Even these prostitution charges are bogus. This man is looking at 20 years for facilitating prostitutes so him and his girl can have freak-off sex. That is an atrocity. That's a tragedy to the American justice system. Jerry Slingsby said, did he have something to do with Pac's death? You know, Keefe D made some mention of $1 million. You know, Puffy supposedly put $1 million on Pac. Now, let me give y'all this. Pac is my favorite artist. Pac is an icon. Pac is somebody I look up to. I've looked up to for a long time. Not as a role model or nothing like that, but I hold Pac in a high regard. But let me say this. I want y'all to stop and say, okay, it's 1995, 1996. And you got Tupac and you got Suge Knight, you got Death Row on your heels, all right? You're Puff Daddy, right? And you got Pac and Death Row. Back then, Death Row was the biggest, most notorious record label, gang, what's that word? Extortioners. They was doing everything. You got them on your heels. You're Puff Daddy, real heavy. I'm not mad if Puff decided to try to get Pac out of the paint. I'm not mad at that. This is what he was supposed to do. You understand? Like, what was he supposed to do? Go to the police? Now, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. See, I'm just thinking objectively. If Puff Daddy would have went to the police on Death Row back in 1996, we'd have called Puffy all kind of bitches and hoes, right? But if he decided to put $1 million on his head, get him up out of here, that's what we call some gangster shit, right? Don't we love gangster shit or no? I mean, I'm just saying, this is what we applaud. So I'm not condoning it because I wish Pac was here. I don't believe Orlando killed Pac because of Puffy. No, Tupac did not die because of Puff Daddy. Tupac passed away because he put his hands on the wrong Crip member, okay? And his security wasn't where they were supposed to be at. They were slipping. They were lacking, okay? Dr. Naka says they were making $1 billion a year gross. What are you doing stomping a man out? Yeah. Hey man, listen. And it's a double-edged sword because Pac was such a loyal individual, and I can identify with Pac. I can identify with that night because I've jumped out there for people when I shouldn't have jumped out there for people. And I had to suffer consequences. So I can identify with Pac, his loyalty, his willingness to show his protection. Let me just say protection. Pac was a protector. Dude said, hey, that's the dude that took the chain. Pac was like, what? And he wanted to go and protect. He wanted to ride for the Mob Piru in Death Row. And that cost him his life, man. Unfortunately, I'm not mad at Pac for what he did. I wish he was moving smarter. As you saw them walking through that casino, there was a lot of arrogance. They were on top of the world. Suge's big ass was just running through. They was just running through the casino like some kids. They was running through the casino like some kids, dog. I mean, think about it. You got Buntry, Neckbone, T-Bone, whatever the fuck these niggas' names is. You got all these blood members with you. And you're Tupac Shakur. You at the fight. Y'all got millions of dollars. It just, I mean, nobody can tell you nothing at that point. You dig? Jerry said, I can see why he did that shit. It's Pop. Yeah. Shout out to Note. What's up, homie? Dr. Naka said, Suge should have stopped him. He's the money. Man, listen, you see where Suge is at. Man, you know what's crazy? Even after that incident and Suge went to prison for 9 years, Suge came home and still was on that bullshit. He was, and you know, even being locked up, he's still on that bullshit. Suge Knight still calls in and does interviews, and he still has not grown up. Some people, let me tell you, man, y'all know somebody in your life that will just never grow up. Never. Yeah, Noble, man, Val. Hey, Val. Rest in peace to young Noble. That was sad to hear. I was really wondering about Noble. He put out a diss to Nas not long ago. And I'm like, this is way left field. Like, he must be really desperate. I think Noble needed a bag or something, man. He just fell off. He probably didn't want to go get a day job. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, bro. Sonya Thompson said, and now it's Diddy's karma time. Sonya, you must not be following the case, sweetheart. You must not be following the case. You dig? I'm in Maryland, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. What city? Y'all checking, man. What city y'all in? Everybody tell me what city y'all in, man. Call me Monk says, here in America, black men take too long to grow up. Lori said, without rights and laws, we have nothing. Val said, I only know all of this because of my 27-year-old Pac die-hard fan. Tupac is the GOAT. Let's see who we got in here, man. James from St. Louis. Shout out to Missouri, man. Scotland, England, Boston, Maryland, Seattle, Baltimore. Ladybug 6, what it do? Jennifer Hughes, Santa Barbara, California. Kenny Page, Kentucky. Upstate NY. We got Vancouver Island in the building. New York, Baltimore, California, Houston, Texas, Colorado, San Bernardino, New Orleans in the building, Miami, my favorite place, Miami. Get me to South Beach, ASAP, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. Roscoe says, love Pac, yeah. Rock City Marv says, I always blamed the dude who told Pac, because if you tough, go get your own ish back. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that dude was Trayvon Lane. And I can't put all the blame on Trayvon because I don't believe he knew Pac was gonna go take off like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was just telling them like, hey, bro, that's you see dude over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Nola in the building. Tupac was a very humble person. At times he was. At times he was humble. You know, he was the definition of a human being, man. He had a lot of different sides to him from what I saw. Cedric Jones says, not to get off topic, Crawford or Canelo. I'm gonna go with Crawford, man. I'm gonna go with Crawford. Paying it forward. Maryland in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Maryland, man. Van B says Tupac was a snitch. Let's talk about that, man, because you're not 100% wrong. I'm not gonna call him a snitch. But Tupac, I remember right after Pac died, I remember hearing the tapes. They had a tape out, right? They had a mixtape out. DJ Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. Listen, y'all. And on this mixtape, Pac was they had all his interviews before his unreleased music. And Pac was dry snitching, man. Let's just be real. Pac implicated. We gotta be honest. Look, this is an honest channel over here. We love Pac and all that, but we just gotta keep it a buck, man. Pac implicated Diddy, Little C's. He implicated Biggie in him getting shot. He divulged a lot of information that in 2025, they'd probably pick somebody up. Amy, you remember that mixtape? I wish I can get my hands on that joint, man. I wish I could get my hands on that joint. Man in a frog suit said Pac got caught up in the gangster persona, blowing up from acting. A modern experience would be Chris Brown. Example would be Chris Brown. Bro was an actor and a singer before he turned blood. Now he can't stay out of trouble. Let me say this to you, man. And this is why Pac was so impactful. Pac was a Baltimore nigga, a New York nigga, a Oakland nigga, and a LA nigga. All right? Pac was all these things, bro. You can tell, you can hear it, you can see it, you can feel it in the music. You understand? So Pac was no square. If y'all look at some of these interviews, Pac's family is from a different cloth. They moved very militant. You understand? His mother was in the Black Panthers. So I wouldn't just say he was like a square, like a chump, and then turned gangster. I think he had a gangster side. He had a conscious side. You know what I'm saying? And he did those sides to the extreme. You dig? South Carolina in the building. Pluto 6 said, you all talk like Pac wasn't a real thug. I think Tupac is too good to be called a thug. I think he's too impactful to be called a thug. We don't want to reduce him to being a thug. It was a dude I just seen. He just did something. It was a white dude. He just said Pac lived with him or something, and Pac didn't know how to fight and he didn't know how to shoot. And, you know, people use Pac to get clout and just say things about him to be in the headlines. But we all know Pac shot 2 off-duty police officers. That's one reason he's a GOAT in my book. Not because he harmed some police, but he was protecting. Once again, he saw 2 off-duty officers attacking a black man. He hopped out the limo and started firing. Bro, that's the GOAT in my book. Nobody will ever top that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real shit. Nobody can ever call Tupac fake, to me at least, because the self-serving individuals that are out here today, they would never do nothing like that. Right, LaRondo Johnson. Yeah, exactly. Call Me Monk says, talk to me about the maturity part. Brothers always come having heart, but we get caught up on the elementary mind games and losing focus. Nah, I agree, homie. I agree. Kenyatta Johnson said he was poetic, and that is what is missing in music. Man in a frog suit said militant doesn't mean gangster. You could be a man without being a thug. Militant means discipline. It seems like he lost. No, you nailed it, homie. He lost his discipline after linking with Suge. I totally agree, brother. Totally agree. Saruma, rap star, what it do? Prince Jordan said Pac played Bishop and never got out of character. Prentice Watson said Pac was a revolutionary. Simon says in Oakland or LA. I say both. Both. You know he was rolling with Richie Rich, rolling with Forte, Too Short, you dig? And then later on in his career, he's dealing with LA. You know what I'm saying? They said he actually got jumped into the mob Pyru. Y'all know that? I kind of believe that. They said dude got put on the mob Pyru inside the gang. You dig? That's what Bosco. Go look up Bosco's interview on Cam Capone. Sibo, Spice One. Yeah, he was rocking with Spice One real heavy. Call Me Monk said I couldn't stand Richie Rich. Val said Pac got into a fight. The Hughes brothers because the movie ministers. Yeah, Pac has been out here active, not glorifying that, but Pac was active for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? He was just your average young man. You know what I'm saying? Going through changes, going through, you know what I mean? James Jordan said Mob James said he wasn't. Listen, I know what Mob James said. Look, we all know Mob James had something against Pac. All right, let's just be real about that. We know he didn't like Pac. But go look up and judge for yourself. You know, we don't know what is real, what's not, but Bosco actually called one of the people that were there while he got put on, called him mid-interview and put him on the phone, you know, let us hear. He said, hey, did Pac get put on Mob Pyro? And the dude answered. So you be the judge. I don't know what's what. I'm not saying one way or another, nor do I really give a fuck. Just for conversation's sake. Prentice Watson said, didn't Pac and Michael Jackson fight? I don't know. I heard that was a rumor. Val said, do you think Mob James was jealous of Pac? Absolutely. But Mob James seemed like he was jealous of everybody. Let me tell you about Mob James from my perspective. Mob James, he got with Suge, right, early. He thought he was going to be the one and only. He thought he was going to be the big blood that was going to receive a lot of money. You did receive a lot of clout, be right there standing next to Suge. Once Suge brought other bloods in, and Mob James wasn't as significant, Mob James was a sore loser, and he took his ball. He went home. That's just my perspective. You know what I'm saying? All right, Kenyatta, thanks for stopping in, sweetheart. For everyone said, it's just a shot across the bows for Diddy. Did you look after this messed up story about Marcus Dutroux? No, I don't know who that is. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit the like button for me, man. I will be back maybe tomorrow or Saturday. Y'all have a great evening. Go do something productive, man. Hug your family. Tell your family you love them, man. I'm out of here. Peace.